Hey guys, what's going on? So I just got back from being on vacation for 5 days. That's one of the reasons why I haven't posted. And I did the one when I was playing PvP, and the one unit thing was a thing. But I've been gone for 5 days, and ironically, I figured out finally how to create a tier list. And this is actually I created this tier list using my own cards. So these are actually the current levels that I'm at. That's not the reason for this. I'm just saying that whenever I do make a new updated tier list, which will probably be coming very soon, I'm going to be able to use every single card, and that's exciting for me. But anyway, I wanted to make a hero tier list because I've never done it, and two, with the changes to all of the heroes, I thought that this would be very helpful. So without further ado, let me explain how this works. I only did 4 separate categories. It's S, A, B, and C. C is basically the worst. S is the best. Let's start right there. If you don't already know, Zeus is the best hero in the game. Not only does it give you tiles that increase when you activate it, it increases the attack and speed of the creature of that creature on the tile for the time being. It also hits the field with a pretty powerful lightning. But most importantly, and the only reason why most people, or the only reason to run it and why it's so good, is at level 15 and above, you get the tile also has a chance to upgrade the unit that's on the tile. So you have 4 tiles, and at level 15, all 4 tiles can upgrade the unit that's on it. It's huge. Imagine a world where you don't have to feel like you have to run Scrapper or Dryad or Harley Quinn Dryad. And then you can replace all of those cards in your deck with anything else. Like, it's huge. It's absolutely enormous. You can go from round, you can go round 1, and you can still use Dryad with that. It's almost preferable to use the Golden Dryad, the level 15 Dryad, with it, because you can super upgrade it early game, like really early game, and then hit Zeus, hit the activate Zeus. It'll hit the field, it'll make the thing in it more powerful, and then it'll upgrade it. It's giant. You can go from having a level 1 thing to having a level 5 thing in by boss round 2. It's crazy. Just go onto the board and just look up every single hero or every single deck, and every single deck in the highest ranks are winning with Zeus. And it usually comes down to who has the better Zeus, who has the glasses, which is the Zeus item, so that you have better upgrade chance, who has a higher level Zeus, and then it literally will just auto win against anybody not running Zeus. So if you're running level 20 Gadget and they have a level 20 Zeus, the Zeus deck is probably going to win. Almost just because. It is the best hero in the game, and there's not even a question. If I was going on the opposite end of that spectrum as to who is the worst hero in the game, honestly, I want to say Jake Paul. I don't think Jake Paul is technically the worst hero. I think Trainer might be the worst hero, but the simple fact that, 1, you either have it and can't upgrade it, or you don't have it. I think it's slightly better than maybe like Bestie and Trainer, and it's probably like 3rd best technically if you have like a maxed out one, but it's not great. With that being said, Trainer is probably the next best, and then Bestie is probably maybe theoretically a little bit better. I like that it affects your opponent, and you can use Bestie to affect a shield on a Dark Inquisitor, and anything that has the ability to affect a Dark Shield Inquisitor, or any way to subtly affect your opponent, I think makes it a little bit better than Trainer. I don't think it's a lot better, and you can say that, you can argue that Trainer might be as good as well, because it's easier to get, or I guess it was easier to get. If you've been playing for a while, you probably have like a level 20 Trainer, but you only have like a level 11 Bestie. But yeah, I think that's about right. If I wanted to go back to the S tier, I'm going to go Mermaid. I think Mermaid and Gadget, in no particular order, are the next best heroes. Gadget for obvious reasons. Once you get to 15 and you get the golden upgrades, the gold upgrade tiles double all of your bonuses, and then anything with a golden upgrade is insane. You get 3 per once you get it to 15, and it's every activation you're getting 3 tiles instead of 2 tiles, and then you have the chance of getting gold tiles. So even late game, you can continue using Gadget, and you're not even necessarily using it for the damage, because at some point, like if you don't have a level 15 Gadget, and you get all the tiles, your damage from the anvils are not really doing anything for you. If you get a level 15 Gadget, though, you have the chance for the golden tiles, so you will keep activating Gadget. And then you can theoretically, if the game goes long enough, fill your entire board with gold tiles, and it gets insane. The only reason why I give the edge maybe to Mermaid is the idea that the level 5 talent and the complete change to Mermaid's kit makes it amazing. The fact that it has the ability to cleanse units that are already affected by something, the fact that it has the ability to give a shield to units so that they don't get affected, and then the fact that when the bubble goes away, you gain mana, which is always helpful. I mean, like, obviously 30 mana isn't going to do anything when your summon cost is 900, but it's something, and it's something more than nothing. As well as giving you a subtle version of being kind of a Gadget, because you get an attack speed, you get crit chance, you get attack damage. You're getting all the Gadget bonuses, but you're not always getting them. But technically, theoretically, the shield gives you the opportunity, and the fact that it's at level 5 is what makes it really, really good. The fact that you can get the shield and the cleanse at level 5 on Mermaid makes it much better than what it could be. I think that if you got the shield, and the cleanse at level 15 or above, I think it would be worse than Gadget, only because by the time you could have gotten a level 15 Gadget, you now have a level 15 Mermaid. And I think level 15 Gadget is technically better because there are just better decks. I got into a whole thing with Small Shamer, and this is how it breaks down. If your main attacking unit can cleanse itself, has an innate ability to cleanse itself. So for example, Cultist, but Cultist is much worse. Blooming Dash Blade Dancer automatically cleanses itself due to its nature of always switching. Light Inquisitor is obviously the poster child for cleansing. Spirit Master at level 13, the level 13 talent. If your unit can auto cleanse itself and doesn't need something else to cleanse it, like a enchant sword, if your unit can cleanse itself, Gadget is better. If your unit cannot efficiently cleanse itself, look at Bruiser, look at Demon Hunter, right? Then I think Mermaid is better for your deck. Added to that fact, it also just makes every deck possible, which is why I would give it the edge, because I think that if you have a level 5 or above Mermaid, more decks are going to be available to you, whereas Gadget is only really good at level 10 or level 15. and I'm at a level 14. It's still really good, but I think that if you were to invest into something, I might invest into Mermaid. Neither of these are going to beat. I think Mermaid actually has a better chance of beating a Zeus deck than Gadget does, because Gadget, you're trying to outdamage them, and with Zeus being able to upgrade everything to 7s, it's really hard to outdamage it, and which is why everybody uses it. But anyway, moving on, I think I'm going to go into a category. I think that Necromancer is good, but I do think that it's very avoidable. If you just play within the 6 tiles, not the outside Banshee tiles. Don't use the Banshee tiles, the outside. Use the 6 on the inside. If you use the 6 on the inside and you build there, you basically make Necromancer do nothing. Almost essentially. Like, it still does something to you. You can't use your hero power, but that becomes like not really that big of a thing late game. And if you know how to play against Necromancer, I don't think Necromancer is that good, but saying that, it's still okay. And there's not a lot of heroes left to talk about, and I think that is like a safe A pick. I think that J is very good. I think that Jay's damage and the ability to deal the 10% defense down, it's not huge. It's not going to be like game breaking or anything, but the fact that it does it is good. Crack Shot is also very good. I think that it allows you to stack damage much more efficiently than if you didn't have it. I'm actually going to put Trickster at the top of C, but not anything. You know what? I don't even know. I'm going to put it at the bottom. I'm honestly going to put Trickster at the bottom. That might be my hot take of this video. But I'm honestly going to put Trickster at the bottom. I don't think Trickster is that good. You don't want it. You don't want to use it for. You don't want to use it for co-op. Because it's better to kill things than to obtain mana. And I have a bunch of videos on that. Comment down below if you want me to point you to a video. You don't need mana in co-op is the too long didn't read of that. You don't need mana in co-op. If you need mana in co-op, your co-op person is not doing enough with their deck. But like the only time you ever want to use it is Trickster, or is in like a Shaman, witch deck, which the Necromancer is better, and actually Snowflake is better, because it freezes things, and it freezes things that come into play, and it freezes things on activation because of the change. I'm actually gonna put Snowflake above Necromancer and above J. Am I going to put it above J? I'm going to put J above Necromancer. I'm going to do that. I think Snowflake... to stay on Trickster for one more second. So the only time that you ever want to use it is really in like a toxic kind of deck. Because you're never going to need to steal mana. And it's not enough mana to harm your opponent enough. Basically, beyond round 2... And I like before, like, and I'm not even saying like boss round 2. I'm saying like round 2, like initial like rounds, like maybe like the first boss, before the first boss. Like if you haven't killed them before their first boss, Trickster doesn't do enough. The bonus damage that you get, really late game, when you have a level 15 Trickster and it's on activation. If it wasn't on activation, I think it would be better, because it's the reserve mana. Every mana in reserve, like 100 mana in reserve, each 100 mana in reserve gives you a bonus in damage. If that was not upon activation, and it was just a passive ability that if you just stored mana, your entire board would get more damage, I think it would be better. But because it works kind of like how a trainer works, in the sense that it only works on activation, I don't think it's that great. Because then you're trying to trickster them on the round, but then you also want to save it so that you can trickster bonus damage your units on a boss round. And you just end up having to pick one. You get to pick one or the other, and I don't think that the damage that you're gaining from Trickster is good enough to be good. Furthermore, I don't think that the stealing mana doesn't work anymore. There was a deck a long time ago called the No Win deck, and it just doesn't work anymore because they put the delay on Shaman, and you have too much of an activation. You have too much of a chance to get rid of the unit that it's targeting. Before, when Shaman would send, if it hit a unit, that unit automatically died. You had Portal Keeper to switch. You could switch things, or you could merge things prior to it hitting. But the goal of the Trickster No-Win deck was to use Shaman, Harlequin, Mime, Priestess, Cauldron. And basically what you did was you had no win. You had no a high attack damage card. And basically you tried to win within 2 bosses. And you either won or you did not win. And that's basically how it worked. And it was good all the way back then. But now with the new meta and all these high damage cards being able to kill entire waves on their own, like 1 Inquisitor, 1 Ivy, 1 Blade Dancer, 1 Spirit Master, 1, Tesla, right? Because there's so many high damaging cards now, you can't really win in the first couple of boss waves, because your opponent can very easily take out the wave. And I think that means that Trickster is last. I don't think it's good. I'm gonna put Elementalist and Mari both in the B category. I think Mari is probably a little bit better than. Oh my god. I think Mari is a little bit better than Elementalist. But I think they're both kind of niche cards that deal damage, and that's about it. They do it efficiently. They do it more efficiently than everything in C, because it actually kills things or stops things in the case of Elementalist. Elementalist is really good because you can use the Meteor during a wave, and then you can use the defense down on the boss. And I like that mechanic, that you're able to do that. Mari, I think, is better because you actually kill things, and you can make with the new upgrades, you can make stronger units on your opponent's side, and you can really mess them up during a boss round. But I don't think that it's good enough. If you go really, really late game, technically, if you Mari them before a boss, they then have to kill all of those units before they hit the boss. But if they're already able to kill the wave, I don't think you sending them a couple more units is going to really screw them over. And I would rather just at that point of trying to build up a Mari to do that. I think that your talents are better used getting a better unit. Getting a snowflake, getting a gadget, getting a mermaid to make your own board better. There's a lot of defensive ways to look at this game, and I'm starting to find that it's just about dealing more damage than your opponent. For instance, in the same way that you could think about Mari and say if I hit the button right before their boss comes, and they have to hit that before they hit the thing, right? Then it could potentially screw them over because I'm messing with them. I kind of look at it the same way that I now look at Sharpshooter. At a certain point, I thought that Sharpshooter was the end all be all for this game. That once you got to double and triple bosses, if you use Sharpshooter, you would automatically win. But the problem with that is most people can insta kill bosses, and if you're using something that is that's making you do less damage than you potentially can, Sharpshooter gives you a bonus to bosses. But if you decided to, but it's replacing a spot. You could be running Enchant Sword. You could be running Trapper. You could be dealing more damage to your own side, as opposed to trying to prevent your opponent from mitigating their damage. Because if you don't mitigate it enough, then it doesn't matter. And it's almost better to just power up your side. So yes, Mari could theoretically, in a perfect circumstance, mess with their board because you're using the unit right as their boss comes out. But wouldn't you rather just out damage them with a gadget? Wouldn't you rather just outlast them with a mermaid? Wouldn't you rather just snowflake and freeze something? Like freezing a unit as opposed to trying to make them do somewhat less damage is more efficient than what Mari does. I think Mari is good, but I don't think it is good enough in the current meta. But this is my list. I knew that it would be like a very easy a video to make. But yeah, this is my list. Let me know what you guys think.